tadpritya gatra sparashanga sangamam granam cha tat pada saroja saurabhe shrimat tulasya rasanam tadarpite padau hare kshetra padanu sarpane shiro hrishikesha padabhivandane kamam chadasya natu kama kamyaya yato tamashloka janashraya ratihi. Okay, so this we are going to chant a few number of times, and uh, I would say like within a week or 10 days. No, that's a long time actually. It's really amazing slokas. So please try to memorize them and please try to meditate on them. If it is not that important, or every sloka in Bhagavatam is important, but then Srila Prabhupada takes the pain of writing this whole set of slokas in so many different purports. So we can understand it's the important, very, very important shloka, and it's very relevant to the subject that we are not trying to discuss today. Right? So this says that Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayor. So let my mind be absorbed in thoughts of the lotus feet of the Lord. Vacham Shivaikunta Gunanuvarnane. So like the speech, the capacity of speech, let it be engaged in glorifying the Supreme Lord, who's also called as Vaikunta. And Karau Harer Mandira Marjanadishu. So let my hands be engaged in cleansing the temple of the Lord. And Shrutim Chakara Achyuta Sat Katodaye. No, let my ears be engaged in hearing the glories of the Lord. No, Achyuta Sat Katodaye. And Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drishav. So let my eyes be engaged in taking the darshan of the Lord's form in the temple. And Tad Bhrutya Ghatra Sparashanga Sangamam. So let my sense of touch be engaged in touching the body of the devotees who are called as Tad Bhrutya, the servants of the Lord, right? And Granam Chatatpada Saroja Saurabe. Let my nose be engaged in smelling the flowers that are offered to the Lord. And Srimad Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite. So let my tongue taste the tulsi leaves that are offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. And Pado Hare Kshetra Padanu Sarpane. Let my legs be engaged in walking to the temple of the Lord, or walking to the place of the Lord. And Shiro Hrishikesha Padabi Vandane. So let my head be engaged in offering obeisances to the Lord. So in offering obeisances, touching the head to the ground is a very, very important principle. Sometimes people have the head floating in the air. No, that's not very nice. So we need to touch the head to the ground. No, Shiro Hrishikesha Padabi Vandane. Especially, we should imagine that we are actually touching the head to the lotus feet of the Lord, and we are able to have the grip of the lotus feet of the Lord. So that's a nice meditation. And then Kamam Chadashe Natu Kamyaya. So like in this way, like let my desire be engaged, means let me not have any other desire other than desire to please the Lord, or in line with the desires of the Lord, right? So in this way, like, let me meditate on the lotus feet, or let me meditate on the form of the Lord. Let me engage all my senses in the service of the Lord, right? So this is a very powerful thing. Unless I engage all my senses in the service of the Lord, I'm not going to get that kind of an appreciation, that kind of an what is that? Depth in chanting. No, the chanting is not going to be just so easy. The chanting is going to be really very it's a very important process, and it's working. It's going to work only if all of our senses are properly engaged in Krishna consciousness. No, we are spiritual in our we are spiritual in our throughout the day. Then we can actually make our chanting spiritual. But if we are contemplating a lot of material things, or engaged in service of lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, and things like that, rather than engaging in the service of Krishna, and we are not taking care of all other aspects, then it's going to have an effect on the chanting. It's not going to be so easy not to chant just like that, right? So as we discussed, chanting is the most important leadership principle, and the most important aspect in the chanting is hearing, right? So now with this, that's the first section that we saw. And with this, we also discussed the this very important sloka, which talks about engaging everything in service of Krishna. So now let's see one very important thing. As I was discussing in this example, that if I want to go to a long distant place, what should I do? I just simply have to sit on the bus. And so many stops are going to come. What should I do? No, just simply sit on the bus. And so many things may be happening around in that place. What should I do? Just simply sit on the bus. You will reach the destination. In the same way, we also have a traveling path, and we have many many junctions, and each junction has its own challenges, and each stage has its own challenges, and each stage we are meant to grow in Krishna consciousness and go further, right? So what are those stages? The stages is, first is Adav Shraddha. No, Adav Shraddha means like having a little bit of faith. No, Adav Shraddha. So this Adav Shraddha, Srila Prabhupada actually defines the Shraddha. What is the Shraddha? Shraddha Shabde, Vishwasha Kahe Shudrida Nishchay, Krishna Bhakti Kaile, Sarva Karma Kruta Hai. No, that means Shraddha means what? Shraddha means that if I do Krishna Bhakti, Sarva Karma Krita Hai. So that means everything that needs to be done is done. No, there is nothing else that is remaining. There is nothing else that is lacking. No, everything that needs to be done is done. No, that's Krishna Bhakti. So if we have that kind of a faith, no, that's the beginning point of Krishna consciousness. So before that, what we are, before that we think that, okay, no, Krishna is there. Maybe I should maintain a demigod worship also, because that demigod has helped me so much, or that demigod can give me so much benefits and things like that. So probably I should maintain, my worship to these demigods on, and or probably I should this worship and things like that is okay. It's kind of an insurance, and anything, if it has to happen something bad, these things will take care. So but the main thing is practicalities of life, and I have to take care of a lot of other things. I cannot go dive deep into this devotion and stuffs like that. So sometimes we may have some apprehensions like that. So when we cross over those apprehensions, and when we come to the point of saying Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Kritahaya, then it means that we have got the Shraddha. We have got the Komal Shraddha. We have got the very, very soft and nice starting point it is. When the Shraddha increases and increases and increases, this itself becomes prema. This itself becomes the love of Godhead, later on. But then it starts with this, the bud of Shraddha, Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. So in this, we should have Shuddha Nishchay. We should have complete faith in this thing, that if I do Krishna Bhakti, that's sufficient. I don't need to do anything else. I don't need to do so many other rituals and so many other procedures, and I don't need to do worship of so many different gods and goddesses and things like that. So we need to have complete faith in this particular aspect, that is Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai, right? So then what happens if we have Shraddha? So this is the first thing that we are working on. So when somebody comes to Krishna consciousness, so the first thing that they have to work on is to get this faith, that exclusive devotional service. And so when we do this thing, so then what happens? So then the next we actually come to the first stage, Shraddha stage. And in the stage of Shraddha, we have won over the problem of so many distractions and so many different options and things like that. And we have taken exclusive shelter of Krishna, which Krishna expects, which he actually tells in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, giving up all other varieties of religion. Sarva Dharman Parityajya, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja, right? So just surrender unto me alone, Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja, right? Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo, Moksha Ishami Masuchaha, right? So that's what Krishna is expecting. And we have seen the case of a person who is always with double mind, triple mind, and bahushakahi anantascha. So like many branched mind, he will generally not get help from anyone. No, generally not get help from any of these channels. But those people who are strictly dedicated to one shelter, they are glorious actually. So Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi, Ekeha Kurunandana, right? So it is only one, that is attachment to Krishna, attachment to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, attachment to the lotus feet of the spiritual master, and attachment to the words of the spiritual master, just to execute the words of the spiritual master as life and soul. right? So this AK Hakurunandana, right? So that is something that is very, very important. So we have to make our goal one, you know. So that's the thing that we do in the beginning stage, the first stage. That's the Shraddha, no stage of Krishna consciousness. And then the we have kind of won over those all different options and all different what is that various things that are available to take on as a process. I've just narrowed down, and then I've just come to the point that Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai, right? So then the next thing that happens is the sadhu sangha. So I've got the faith, so now I need to associate with devotees, probably over Zoom call or in the physical meetings, and somehow or other I need to associate with devotees. For some devotees it has become so much that they cannot live without connecting to a Zoom link. In the current day scenario, they cannot live without connecting to the Zoom link of the weekly program or the daily program or whatever it is happening. So devotee association means they just want it. That means they have come to the second stage. Sadhu sangha. They come to the second stage. They have so much interest in taking association of devotees. So if that is not there, then we are not at there. No, we are not at there in that stage. So we have to work out. So this ladder of Krishna consciousness is very amazing, because at every given point in time we have only one problem to work on, and at all points in the development of Krishna consciousness, we have only one duty to do, that is chanting the names of the Lord and hearing it carefully. If you can do other devotional service, that's well and good, amazing. It'll add up to the thrust of the whole thing. But then if you cannot, just at least do this much, that chant the 16 rounds properly and then hear them properly. So that's the thing that we are going to do throughout in this whole journey of Krishna consciousness. And the second thing that we are going to do is stage specific problems and how to handle those problems. So the specific problem is, in the first stage, the before getting to the first stage, is the problem is, no, I have not narrowed down that Krishna is the only master of me. No, I want to surrender only to Krishna. So when I get that, so then I'm there in the first stage. And the how do I go to the second stage? The thing that is stopping me from going to the second stage is, I have faith, but somehow I'm lethargic to get to a satsang program. Somehow I am very, very lethargic to get to tune into a Zoom call or go to a physical program. I'm just thinking that probably like next time I'll do it. What's the need that every single week I have to do, or every single day I have to join for a japa session and things like that. So what's the need? So then I'm still have to work on to go to the second stage. The second stage is that I have so much interest in getting to an association of devotees. I just want to be there in association of devotees, right? So I will have so much enthusiasm to tune in, or I will have so much enthusiasm to walk in to a program, where I can get devotee association, or walk into house of a devotee, where I can discuss Krishna Katha. I develop that kind of an eagerness and attraction towards being amongst the devotees, right? So that's the second stage. So if I'm comfortable there, so then the next stage that's going to be there is the bhajana kriya. So bhajana kriya means, in general, it is mentioned the chanting of the 16 rounds, and then following the regulative principles and things like that. So I would also like to define it in this way. That is, the bhajana kriya means to engage all our senses in the service of the Lord all the time. So this is the bhajan that we are trying to do. What is the bhajan that we are trying to do? All the senses, all the time engaged in Krishna's service, right? So this is the bhajan, all the time. We have to be engaged in the service of the Lord. So be it, be it like engaged in the physical way, dealing with the material world, just like if you're constructing a temple, we have to deal with a lot of material things. Or now we have a lot of logistics that is happening. That is, we are packing the books of Srila Prabhupada, we are dispatching them, and we are trying to see that it is dispatched properly and things like that and all. So this is good. This logistics, what is this logistics is all about? For what it is all about? It is for distributing Krishna's message. It is for distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, and which is very dear to him. So senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, right? So we are making calls to people, no, please buy this book and things like that. So the time, energy, the thought process, what to speak, everything is engaged properly in Krishna's service. And then we are working and we are trying to get that Lakshmi and then see that every penny of it is properly utilized in Krishna's service, right? So, no, Lakshmi is wife of Narayan and she should be engaged in service of Narayan. So those who want to enjoy Lakshmi separately from Narayan, so they will actually become Ravan, no? And Krishna will have to forcibly take the Lakshmi out of such people, right? So basically, whether we have it for ourselves or whether we have it donated somewhere or whether we do whatever it is, every penny of it should be used in service of Krishna. That means if I prepare a nice food, it should be offered to Krishna. No, this from I've worked hard and I've got some money. I've prepared a nice food, so that should be offered to Krishna. I've got a very nice house. The whole house should be treated as a temple of Krishna, and it should be worshipped. It should be like every place should be maintained as a temple of Krishna, and the members of the family, should be treated as Krishna's devotees and should be served, and like that. No, every penny that we have, no, we should see that. No, we should see that like we are not spending it for sense gratification and we are spending it for Krishna, right? And all the energy that I've got, no, spending it for Krishna, no, either directly or I'm trading my energy, my intelligence to some company and then I'm getting something, using that in Krishna's service. The end product of everything that we do should be engaged in Krishna's service. So this is bhajana kriya. No, bhajana kriya means to engage all the senses all the time in the service of Krishna. So if we don't do this thing, then we are not going to advance in Krishna consciousness, or we are not going to go to the next stage, that is anartha nivriti. So anartha nivriti means to destroy or clear off major portion of the disturbing elements, that is kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, and matsarya, and in the different forms of pujala pratishtha and pujala pratishtha, what somewhat comes a little later also. So but then the gross anarthas have to be destroyed, and for that most important thing is plugging out the input for the anarthas. More sense gratification, more breeding of anarthas into the system, and like more we engage all the senses all the time in service of Krishna, no more anartha new it's going to come inside, and the process of bhakti is going to burn off the anarthas. And today morning we heard a very nice statement by His Grace Achyuta Arjun Sata Prabhu. He was mentioning that Krishna, when we hear about Krishna, Krishna takes it upon himself to cleanse the heart of the devotee. You can imagine like who will do this cleaning job. So generally we have maids, and sometimes we do some cleaning job and things like that back in different homes I'm seeing. So and it's a very very humble profession. And what does Krishna do? No, Krishna is taking that humble profession. Krishna is taking this humble, this one. No, we know sometimes like sometimes when we deal with somebody in a very harsh way, we speak something in a very harsh way and things like that, or sometimes some nasty thoughts that come in our mind. So we can imagine how nasty we are, how really ugly we are, in our thoughts, in our consciousness. And Krishna is entering into this consciousness, and Krishna is cleansing this consciousness. It's really unimaginable. Why should Lakshmipati, why should the Radhanath, why should the Gopinath, Krishna should do this kind of a job, that shows the love and affection of Krishna for all the living entities, right? Especially for all of us. And more specifically, especially for me, we should all think that Krishna is, more we generalize, more we get far from Krishna. More we personalize, more we get closer to Krishna, right? So Krishna is very personalized. He's not telling that, okay, I am Paramatma, I'm there. Like, no, one person, I'm sufficient enough to manage everything. I can just be there in one place and then I can do everything. And of course, I've got so many energies. Parasha Shaktir Vividaiva Shruyate, Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. So I've got so many energies to work. No, I can just manage things. But still, Krishna expands as Paramatma into each and every one of us hearts, and each and every atom. He expands. This is an unlimited mercy of the Lord. Just to understand how the Lord permeates and manifests this material creation. For what? Just for my enjoyment. I had some nasty thought to enjoy separate from Krishna, and Krishna has to create this world. Krishna has to permeate everywhere, and Krishna has to sit in my heart and sanction that, and Krishna has to execute everything all around. So how much he has to do just to fulfill my nasty desire, so my dirty desire. So Krishna is doing so much, right? So we can actually see that Krishna is so very merciful. Krishna is such an amazing person that he is doing so much for us, right? So he is ready to cleanse. So that's the anartha nivritti process. But then for that, one very important thing is we should block the entrance of further anarthas. We should block the breeding of further anarthas. So for that, the bhajana kriya process has to be really very strong and solid. That means all the senses all the time engaged in the service of the Lord, right? So we should be very careful about this thing. So bhajana kriya. So then the anartha nivritti stage starts. Then Krishna starts cleansing the heart, really very amazingly. And how are we going to do this thing? So as I was mentioning, throughout this process, one solid thing, one single thing that's going to be there throughout in the thread is that chanting of the names of the Lord and hearing those names very carefully, right? So this is very, very important thing. And that's going to take us to stage to stage to stage and take us to the ultimate perfection of Krishna Prema. And we have to just be very careful in guarding, and we have to just take care of other challenges that are there in this each and every stage. And we are going to make progress. We are going to go further, and we are going to attain the destination. It's very simple. Why? Because Krishna is involved. Krishna is all powerful. Krishna can do anything and everything. And the acharyas have given their blessings. The spiritual master has given their blessings, and so many Vaishnavas are blessing. And even after that, we are not able to progress. That means we are not sincere in the process. We are not sincerely chanting. We are not sincerely taking to the simple steps that are offered to us in the process of Krishna consciousness, right? So now let's again get back to the sloka that we are discussing, the sloka that we were trying to memorize. So please try to make a note of this sloka and try to memorize it. So now again we will chant the sloka once again, and then probably towards the end of the session we will try and chant the sloka once again, and go back home. No, all of you are back at home anyways. So but after this session, kindly invest time. Kindly, if you want, you can take a snap of this and put it as your wallpaper or whatever it in your mobile. You can keep this in your mobile and keep like chanting these slokas again and again. And I'll again tell you this. Prabhupada has used the slokas in many, many places, and this is going to help us in our chanting in a big way. If we can just follow the things which are there in this sloka, it's a very, very big way it's going to help us. This is kind of a checklist. This is kind of a sadhana checklist. So we can actually see that, at the end of the day, have I done all these things, whatever is mentioned here, right? So let's try to chant this sloka again. So let's all chant together, and we will also do this again at the end of the session once more. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vacham shivaikunta gunanu varnane karau harer mandira marjanadishu shrutim chakarachyuta satkathodaye mukunda lingalaya darshane drishau tadbritya gatras parashanga sangamam granam chatat pada saroja saurabe श्रीमत् तुलस्या रसनां तदर्पिते पादौ हरे क्षेत्र पदानुसर्पणे शिरो हृषिकेश पदाभिवन्दने कामं च दास्येन तु कामकाम्यया यतोत्तम श्लोक जनाश्रया रतिः. Right? Okay. So now, just to summarize what all we discussed today, we discussed that chanting and hearing the names of the Lord is the greatest leadership principle, because in propagating Krishna consciousness, what are we trying to do? We are trying to distribute Krishna to everyone. And if we don't have Krishna in our heart, we are not going to, will not be able to distribute Krishna anywhere. And by doing this thing, we are going to benefit people. because if you chant nicely, so you are going to, anyone who comes in touch with you, they will be positively inspired in Krishna consciousness. You'll be fulfilling, or you'll be pleasing Srila Prabhupada and spiritual master very much, because the prime instruction that is given by the spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada is to chant the 16 rounds attentively, and then we are going to make tremendous progress in Krishna consciousness. And then we discussed about the progress in consciousness, about how we can actually, go through the different stages of Shraddha, like then this one, Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajana Kriya. Not till there we discussed, and then Anantanuvritti, and then further stages are there leading up till Prema, right? So this is what we discussed today, and the crux of the discussion is that what is the goal of this discussion? Why did I choose this topic? Just so that I can become a little more serious and absorbed in my chanting, and I can also help inspire some something about chanting for everyone. So this is the sum and substance of today's discussion. So we can go further also, but then I would like to have some nice discussion on this topic, because it's a very practical topic. And it'll be very nice if we can, all of us, imagine, like, here 23 of us are there, all of us, if we are going to chant every single day with lot of absorption and lot of focus on the sound vibration, every single syllable that we are uttering are clear and distinct, and we are going to have at least a struggle towards this direction. If I'm not having this thing, like, at least I'm going to have a struggle towards this direction, then it's going to be a massive preaching that's going to happen. I tell you, like, whole Bangalore will become Krishna conscious if we do this thing, right? So it's really very powerful. Just by focusing on one thing, that is chanting of the names of the Lord with absorption, and also trying to distribute this names of the Lord to various people. So now we will open up for discussion, and devotees can either put a chat, or you can you can raise your hands, and once I call your name, then you can speak up, and in this way we can have a small discussion now. Hare Krishna. Hari Hari. Hare Krishna.
We
Hare
can
Krishna.
speak, is it?
Yes, Mataji, yes.
While chanting, no, sometimes when I count beats, I'll be like,
Mm.
when it will get over, that kind of attitude, when it will go. It's been 7-8 months I'm doing it, but
Mm.
how it will go, I try, but when I start counting, I'll say, when it will get over, like that, the feeling comes. So how to overcome that? Like,
Okay, it's a nice thing. So, when all do we have such feelings? When all we have experienced such feelings in the past, in our life, and then what all things we have experienced a lot of enthusiasm in doing? Any inputs? Um, Devotees can give some inputs on this. When all we find it very, very boring, and when we find it interesting in various aspects of our life, and various things that we have done in our life. Uh, so any general principle or specific incidents?
a morning it will be very, can I speak? Hare
Yeah, yeah,
Krishna.
yeah, yeah.
So morning it will be active, do all that ritual, taking bath and all that.
Mm,
And morning it is fresh when you chant 2 rounds I do, and then after that it just slows down. And that interest goes sometimes, not always, but sometimes it goes. So
mm,
I just want to know how to overcome that. It's been quite some time now. So
mm, mm, mm,
sometimes you feel good about it, but that we do it. I do it as a duty, but it lovingly it doesn't come. I mean, I do it as a duty, but it doesn't come, from your heart. That ha ha. I mean, lovingly it doesn't come. That ha karna hai karke aisa doesn't come like. mm,
mm. Yes, yes.
Oh,
Yes, Prabhu, Sabareesh Pillai.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam. So even I used to face this, but what has helped me right now is I actually do chanting in breaks, so I'm able to concentrate when I do the chanting. So right now I do 8 rounds. So I actually keep 2 rounds in the morning, 2 rounds in between, and I make sure that I do 2 rounds. So in this way, I'm able to constantly think about Krishna also. And every time I chant also, it's loud, clear. I'm able to focus on those words also. It has helped me a lot. Maybe I'm not sure if it will work for everyone. Ideally, we are supposed to chant early in the morning, but my work time don't allow me to do so. So this is how I am doing, but it's been helping me a lot.
Okay. So generally, we advise that one stretch of chanting, it's good. Like even Prabhupada also used to do, like in morning, afternoon, evening, and things like that and all. So that's even many devotees also do like that. But the general advice that I would or we would recommend for most of the devotees is to do in one stretch, right? So do in one stretch, and it's an experiment. Actually, it's a meditation, and more prolonged time that we actually offer to the meditation, and more sincerely we are practicing the steps of the meditation nicely. So we are going to we are going to explore the depths of the meditation. So meditation is a process which is not like a fast food, wherein I just got onto it and then got the job finished and then get out of it. Meditation actually reveals itself, over a period of time. The more longer the meditation I sit upon, the more longer I try to meditate upon. So I actually explore the gems and depths of the meditation actually. So that's anyways, that's another topic. So let's discuss the topic of what Priya Mataji has brought about. It's a very, very important topic. Somebody has put in the chat box, Siddhanath Prabhu, when devotees are around, chanting is very sound and very smooth. Okay, that's one realization. That's nice. Chanting in Brahma Muhurta and in the presence of devotees on the Zoom has really helped. Oh, that's also an amazing comment. So now we see, in one college I had been, and then I was supposed to give a session on enjoy your studies. And the studies are the most boring things, for at least the general class of the students. There are some students who are very, very intelligent and they like studies, but then there are bulk of the people, they don't like studies. So then I had actually asked the boys to come up and then say some things, like what all reasons that come to their mind why they are not able to study. Then he mentioned that the different students mentioned that when we sit to study, that is when like my mother calls me and asks me to go to buy sabji, and then somebody calls me up to do something or some distraction that's happening, and like so many, it's one whole board was filled with the reasons. So then I just changed the question, right? So if your friend is calling you for some play or some other interesting thing, I don't remember exactly now what I asked them. So some other interesting thing which is in relation to their play or recreation and things like that. And I asked them, how many of these reasons that we have written down in this board will actually matter, will actually distract you from that recreation? So then everybody told, no sir, we will manage, we will work our way out and we will get it done. So what's the difference between the recreation and the studies? What do you feel? Why do you have such a kind of a what is it, aversion or a boring nature towards the studies? So because no, it's not appealing. It's not really. Uh, First of all, like people are not clarified of why we are doing these things, and they're not able to see some value in it and things like that. And sometimes, of course, the material studies doesn't have much of life application and stuff like that. But in our case, the chanting of the names of the Lord has so much tremendous importance in our life. And it has so much of, like, this life is very short, and before I die, I have to become Krishna conscious. I have to become fully Krishna conscious. And for that, this chanting of the names of the Lord is a prime thing that I need to do, right? And if we keep reminding ourselves of the urgency, and we will be able to get the enthusiasm. And some devotees I have seen, they chant the Sikshastakam prayers. So first, like one time they chant the Sikshastakam prayers. There are 8 prayers are there, Ashtakam, and they chant once the Sikshastakam prayer, the first stanza, and they meditate on the meaning, and then they chant 2 rounds. And then they chant the next prayer and they meditate on the meaning, and then they chant the next 2 rounds. And in this way they do that. And some people, they use the help of Namamrita or some inspiring inspiring quotes on the holy name, and then whenever the distraction happens, immediately they get onto it. They read that what is that, those inspiring quotes, and just to imagine, like, we are fallen in a deep well of material existence, and there is only ray of hope is this holy name. Krishna has come to save us, and he has given us this hope of holy name. And if we don't catch on to it, what's a pathetic situation that we are in, right? So we are really in a pathetic situation. So this, by reminding ourselves of these things, we will get enthusiasm. I don't know, like, how many of you could able to attend the Gita overview session. So in the Gita overview session, the first point that we talk about is this: Arjuna lost enthusiasm in the battle. So why Arjuna lost enthusiasm in battle? Because he lost the orientation. Why should I do this? And even if I do this, what's going to be my benefit? No, whether I fight or not fight, it's going to be destruction everywhere. It's really like the life has come to a dead end, and I'm not able to understand what to do. So lack of knowledge, creates lack of enthusiasm. So now, if we can actually bring about this knowledge that we are stuck in this world badly, and Krishna is so merciful. Krishna bada dayamoy, karibare jiva jai. So swa prasad anna dilobai, right? So he has given his prasad. He has given his holy name. He has given the deity form of the Lord. He has given the devotees. He has given all possible things. He has given the process. He has defined the process step by step. So many things Krishna has given. And now it's time for me to apply. So we should pray to Krishna that whenever our mind gets distracted, or whenever we don't get taste in the holy name, we should pray to Krishna, what's the hope of me, right? So where will I end up? Where will I go? Like, only hope for me to get out of this material world is this holy name, and this process that you have very mercifully given, and I'm not having any attraction, right? So now, what is the second stanza of Sikshashtakam? Somebody can tell me second stanza of Sikshashtakam.
Namna makari bahuda nija sarva shaktis.
Tell me full.
Namna makari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrarpita niyamita smaranena kalah etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaivam idrisham iha janina anuragah.
Durdaivam. No, it's really, really unfortunate. The situation is very unfortunate. Idrisham, ihajani, na anuraga. I am not having any attraction towards this holy name. No, Durdaivam. Please, Krishna, be merciful to me. Like, give me some taste in chanting the holy names. No, like, if this is also not happening, then what's the hope? No, where am I going to go back to Godhead? Where am I going to attain my goal of attaining Krishna Prem? No, my life is going to be completely waste. No, I am like, so many lifetimes I've wasted, and I just don't want to waste one more, right? So I just want to be focused on this particular thing, right? So in this way, we can actually pray, meditate, and Krishna has given that also. Like, we can see the heights of mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He knows that we are going to feel like this, and Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has put himself in our position, and then he is praying, to Krishna. He is Krishna himself, but he is praying to Krishna, saying that Durdaivam, what's the unfortunate situation I am there in? I'm not having any taste and attraction to the holy name, right? So even to make such a prayer, it's so wonderful and amazing. So try to make this prayer, try to meditate on the second stanza of Sikshashtakam, and with kind of, with full heart in it, right? So then you see the difference, you see the amazing difference that's going to happen. We will just connect to the holy name very nicely, at least for some time. And then again, Krishna may pull it out, because we are taking it for granted. We are trying to enjoy Krishna, so he may just pull it off. But again, we have to go and beg Krishna. Namanta eva. We just saw that in the first sloka that we discussed. Jnane prayasa udapasya namanta eva. Right. So Krishna wants us to come down. Krishna is Vibhu. Krishna is so great, right? And then we are so small. So if we have pride, we cannot see Krishna. We have to have humility, and we have to go and beg Krishna. So if we are not able to have something, then Krishna can grant anything and everything. And eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman. So he is the one who's fulfilling the desires of all living entities. So if I'm not getting it, that means I'm not having the appropriate desire. So we should actually try to go and beg Krishna that please give me. No, I want it. So no, if not, if you cannot grant, I cannot forcibly take. I can do so much of techniques, and I can sit upside down, everything I can do, but I cannot get the absorption. It is you have to give this. No, we need to pray to the Lord, very very intensely. Then we will get it, right? So hope this gives a little answer to the question.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. And one more, how to maintain that relationship. I saw one movie where the girl was so attracted to Krishna, she will fight with Krishna, and whatever the entire day, whatever happens, she will come and tell, she will light lamp. And that kind of relationship, how we'll maintain? How can we maintain with like that? When I saw that movie, I was
So
so inspired with that movie. She keeps fighting with Krishna, and she will, she will, whatever happens the entire day, she will just discuss with him, and all that, and always that Krishna will help her. So how to have that intensity?
So this, definitely all of us will get this. There is no doubt about it. And when we hear about these wonderful things, are even in the pastimes of which is mentioned in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is so much wonderful things are mentioned. So we should understand all of these devotees are there in different levels of Krishna consciousness. I don't know the movie that we have seen. It's in line with the scriptural principles, or it's just a movie that is produced by commercial movie that is produced. But anyways, like the crux of the matter is, assuming that person is a very great devotee, so they may be in the stage of rati, or like bhava, and higher stages of devotion. And at every stage we have a certain problem to fight out. So we should understand, we should see that, have I taken exclusive shelter of Krishna? Have I ruled out all other demigods and all other processes of this one shelter, and I've taken exclusive shelter of Krishna? Then I've cleared the first. I've cleared, probably you can say, like I've cleared LKG. And then next thing is that I've entered into the first standard, and that's devotee association. I'm not missing the opportunity to associate with devotees. And in case if I'm finding myself busy with some other job, I'm feeling really bad and I'm repenting, no, I'm not able to go to the association of devotees. So then we have then we have passed the first standard, right? So then the second standard is that we need to have, we need to engage all our senses in Krishna's service, all the time in Krishna's service, all our energy in Krishna's service. That's possible. Staying at home, working at the office, everything, it's possible. So your guides can actually guide you how to do that practically in your grahastha life. So when we do that, so we have crossed, or we have passed the third standard, and the fourth standard is the most difficult standard to pass. And then if you pass that standard, then you will be there. No, whatever you have explained, you will be there, right? So you will get it. You will definitely get it. So it's going to be there, right? So but right now, at every stage, we should not think that when we are there in the lower classes, there is no point in worrying about a higher problem, right? So first is that we need to get attraction to the holy name, and some taste, and then engaging all the senses in Krishna service. And in this way, like we will progress, section by section or class by class, we will pass and we will go further. So that's the amazing aspect of the acharyas. They have given crystal clear, just like how we have done our schooling and college, and with clear cut goal. Now I'm there in the standard, and I'm going to go to the next standard, and I'm going to fight with these problems over there, and then I'm going to go to the next standard. Exactly same way. We are so fortunate to get such a process. So very very crystal clear roadmap, till Krishna prem. So what all problems will come, what all to handle, and when to think about which problem. So this problem is a definitely, all of us should have this anxiety that when will I be able to be fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So but then right now, no, it's like, when will I graduate? No, that's every student should have that goal, that I should have graduate with flying colors. I should be a bachelor or a master's and things like that. But when I'm there in the second standard or fifth standard or even 10th standard, 12th standard, I have a certain problem to handle at that standard, and I just have to be focused on that standard. And time will come, I will be a graduate. No, I'll definitely be a graduate. Time will come there. Right? So I hope this answers the question.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hari Hari. Okay, there is something in the chat box, Monamita Mataji. While I have a long way to go on my quality of chanting, preparing my consciousness before the chanting helps. Hearing Japa talk by senior devotees or Srila Prabhupada lecture, crying for Krishna's mercy, reading one or two verses of Bhagavad Gita, or chanting Sikshashtakam has also really helped me improve. Okay, that's amazing. Thanks. Every devotee who's sincerely trying to chant, who's sincerely trying to apply themselves to the process, is going to make something significant in this world. They're going to make some significant difference in this world, right? So it's really very important. So it's personal level and the global level. No, everywhere it's going to be helpful. No, it's really, really going to be helpful. Okay, so any other discussion on this? Any other questions or any other discussions on this particular topic? Or anybody would like to share their realizations on the chanting? Yes, Kavita Mataji, want to say something?
No, Prabhuji, no.
Okay. So I think everybody are really amazing in your chanting. So, anyways, the kind of services that you're all doing and in the book distribution, in the Gita course and things like that, Karthikeya Prabhu keeps telling, it's really, really very pleasing. And every soul that we actually touch upon, every soul that we can make a difference in their life, it makes it makes a lot of difference. And the instruction that is given to us, by the in charge of this area, the GBC of this area, and he happens to be my spiritual master also, is His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He has requested us, or he has ordered us to make Bangalore Krishna conscious city, and it's possible by all of us individually trying to focus on our names and then becoming a nice devotees, and we become nice devotee and go out and give our association to people. So it's going to make a tremendous difference. If you want to make Bangalore Krishna conscious, first we have to become Krishna conscious, and we have to become deep in our Krishna consciousness, right? So okay, so with this probably we will end the session. It's also 1 hour 15 minutes now since we have started. Kartikeya, what should we do?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can end the session. Like there are no questions as such. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the enlightening session. These verses which we chanted today, the Amrish Maharaj verses, are very, very amazing. And that actually shows that how each and every limb can be engaged in service of the Lord. If someone is asking how to do it, devotees can quote the shloka. And we had an elaborate session on Amrish Maharaj's pastimes. So devotees like Amrish Maharaj also now here. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful session. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay, so as we discussed that, we will chant once, and then
Yes, Prabhuji.
this prayers once more, and then we will finish the session. Right? Okay. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vacham shri vaikunta gunanu varnane karau harer mandira marjanadishu shrutim chakara achyuta satkatodaye mukunda lingalaya darshane drisho tatpritya gatras parashanga sangamam Granam chatatpada saroja saurabe Srimattulasya rasanam tadarpite Pado Hare Kshetra Padanusarpane Shiro Hrishikesha Padabhivandane Kamam Chadasyena Tu Kama Kamyaya Yato Tamashloka Janashrayaratihi. Hare Krishna. Okay.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So I would request everyone that let's thank Prabhuji by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.